Hello everyone, my name is Pearson. For my video essay, I've chosen the 1988 martial arts thriller Bloodsport. In this essay, I will point out various aspects from cult texts that we have learned in this quarter, including Jean-Claude Van Damme's emasculating masculinity and how feminine nature challenges the norms of regular martial arts film, the various stereotypical non-Western ethnicity representations, as well as the niche subgenre that Van Damme's movies are often associated with, the arena subgenre. I will also discuss how the film has been surrounded by myth ever since its release. The film is supposedly based on true events of the life of Frank Dukes, the first Westerner to win the mysterious and mythical Kumite. Look at the cultural impact the film has had since its release, and the followings the film has garnered, and why Bloodsport should be considered a cult film. Starring Jean-Claude Van Damme in what would be his breakout role, as well as Donald Gibb from Revenge of the Nerds, Oscar winner Forrest Whitaker, and some guy I'm not real sure of, and the Asian Hercules Bolo Yeung. One feature introduced in Bloodsport that would later become Jean-Claude Van Damme's cinematic signature, and one that would feminize the emasculated community of the martial arts. Jane Rovio states that there is one feature especially introduced in Bloodsport that would later become one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's cinematic signatures, the splits. She cites this scene as one of anxiety for Jackson, given the feminine position Van Damme is posed in, all which leads to emasculation. She does, however, note that the splits do serve a purpose in the emasculating masculinity. Rovio had a point to the splits. As she states, Frank has responded to fears of emasculation, evoked by Jackson in the previous split scene, by symbolically castrating his male opponent, displacing in a rather reified way onto him the maintained problems in having kids. She also, from having kids to throwing them, Bloodsport is a film that plays up the stereotypical archetype for non-Western ethnicities, something Mathis and Mendeck also point to as part of their anatomy of cult film. This scene is just in the first 3 minutes. They reinforce the prejudices of the time, and honestly, it challenges the WWF of the 1980s. This Arabian guy looks like what the Iron Sheik was going to be. I didn't say that, my friend said that actually, but props to him. Anyway, also Jean-Claude Van Damme is Belgium, and he plays an American war hero. So, there's that too. And this clip right here is just a straight up stereotypical prejudice.
Oh, jeez, Frankie, I hope you
And
know
remember,
what you're doing.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is not American.
Ready?
Go. Ha! You lose, American asshole.
There are far more, such as the fighter's technique, terrible voiceovers, some of which are coming up in the next section of the niche aspects of the martial arts film. Another aspect arts films are unexplored and not defined by academic criticism. Though as a genre, it has exploitation, cult, and mainstream appeal that has many cultural critiques, even though they are less aesthetic and artistic currency. He also finds that blaxploitation films like Superfly and Black Belt Jones were part of the first martial arts genre wannabe films. Van Damme is mostly known for being in the arena subgenre of martial arts film. These films usually involve exotic or hidden locations, according to Desser. Production myth is also something Mathis and Mendeck point to in their Anatomy of Cult. The myth surrounding who the film is based on, Frank Dukes, could get its own documentary. And actually, I'm pretty sure there is in fact a documentary on Frank Dukes. Dukes, according to Sheldon Lettich, who has screenplay credits on Bloodsport. Dukes, according to Sheldon Lettich, who has screenplay credits on Bloodsport, once considered himself a friend of Dukes, and that his history inspired him to write Bloodsport. However, it would later come out that what most of Dukes said was false, and Lettich ultimately had a falling out with him. Lettich claimed, quote, he was a big bullshitter. Google search of Frank Dukes will bring a litany of results. Cult following and fandom may be the most important aspect of cult, and the myth surrounding Frank Dukes is part of the appeal of Bloodsport. This scream has been immortalized on shirts and memes. It can be found on the Bloodsport Addicts page on Facebook. It has over 20,000 fans and plenty more shirts like this. The Bloodsport film page has over 100,000 likes. Bloodsport could be defined as a cult film for many other reasons than I have listed here today. While a bit cheesy, it's a fairly good 80s martial arts film, and it started Jean-Claude Van Damme's career. However, given Jean-Claude Van Damme's non-normative, emasculating nature, the non-Western sensitivities, mythical legend of Frank Dukes, and cultural following the film has established since its release, I believe all of these factors help make it a cult film.